Hello, and welcome to the Middle School Teachers Planned Instructional Support for Students with Learning Disabilities, a Content Analysis poster session. I'm Cassandra Smith, and I'm a second-year doctoral student in the Special Education Department at the University of Missouri. My co-presenter, Rachel Jurgensen, is a third-year doctoral candidate in the Special Education Department, also at the University of Missouri. Our sponsor, Dr. Delinda Van Garderen, is a special education professor at the University of Missouri and is the co-principal investigator for an NIH-funded program called Linking Science and Literacy for All Learners. The goal of this program is to support middle school ELA, science, and special education teachers develop and implement multimodal text sets with linked scaffolds and inquiry to address commonalities in the science and English language arts practices and scientific argumentation. In this content analysis, we analyze the instructional support for students with learning disabilities within the teacher participants' text set unit plans utilizing the differentiation instruction and scaffolded differentiation over time constructs on the EQUIP rubric.
The Educators Evaluating the Quality of Instructional Products, or EQUIP for short, is a rubric that uses specific criteria that measures the overall quality of lessons and units that are aligned to the Next Generation Science Standards, or NGSS. The NGSS recommends the use of differentiated instruction as an effective classroom practice for students with learning disabilities who are learning in general education classrooms. Research suggests that differentiated instruction both increases student performance and has positive effects on student achievement. Scaffolded instruction is considered a high-leverage practice for students with disabilities. It is important to note that the goal of scaffolded instruction is to fade support over time to get students to move toward independence. Research also suggests that general education teachers report feeling underprepared to teach students with learning disabilities and that there is generally a lack of differentiated instruction occurring in general education classrooms. For this study, we used the EQUIP rubric to evaluate 13 general education middle school science and English language arts teachers units to address the following research question. To what degree do middle school science and ELA teachers adequately plan scaffolded and differentiated instruction to meet the needs of students with learning disabilities? The units evaluated were developed as part of a larger NIH-funded professional development research program called Linking Science and Literacy for All Learners. As part of this program, teachers developed multimodal text sets on the topics of pollination and earth systems and human activity. Part of the development of the text sets included embedded scaffolds aimed at supporting diverse learners and accessing complex scientific text. For the data analysis, 2 graduate students started by collaboratively scoring 2 of the units. This allowed for agreement on definitions for the scores of none, inadequate, adequate, and extensive. Once definitions were agreed upon, those definitions were used to score the remaining 11 units. Each graduate student scored all 13 units. Discrepancies in scores were discussed and consensus was built to reach 100% inter-rater reliability. Frequency of rating categories were calculated and reported and will be discussed next.
After the 11 remaining units were individually scored by the graduate students, a weighted kappa was calculated to determine inter-rater reliability. For the differentiated instruction construct, the 2 raters agreement was statistically significant with a weighted kappa of 0.8 and a 95% confidence interval of 0.54 to 1. For the scaffolded differentiated instruction over time construct, the 2 raters agreement was statistically significant with a weighted kappa of 0.75 and a 95% confidence interval of 0.426 to 1. Both agreements are considered excellent according to the agreement levels determined by Fleiss et al. The graduate students discussed discrepancies in scores and consensus was built to reach 100% inter-rater reliability. Frequency of the rating categories for both constructs is displayed in the bar graph. The multicolored table provides the definitions of each rating category the graduate students used to evaluate the text set units. Of the 13 units evaluated, 30.77% scored adequate and 30.77% scored extensive for differentiated instruction. Of the 13 units evaluated, 46.15% scored adequate and 15.38% scored extensive for scaffolded differentiation over time. Only 1 unit scored extensive for both differentiation and scaffolded differentiation over time. The results of this text set unit content analysis using the EQUIP rubric suggest that the ELA and science middle school teachers in this study plan for differentiated instruction. Although plan differentiation instruction was present in the teacher's text at unit plans, most of the plan differentiation was focused on providing multimodal supports to remove learning barriers and scaffold learning and included little evidence of providing extensions. Additionally, the results suggest that the ELA and science teachers planned scaffolded differentiated instruction throughout the entire unit, but included little evidence of planning for ways to fade supports, leading to increased responsibility for making sense of phenomena and designing solutions. Future studies could examine the units of teachers who did score extensive in either area to provide practical examples of how teachers are planning for differentiated instruction and scaffolded differentiation over time in their units. It is important to note the limitations of this content analysis. First, several teachers indicated a use of level text within their unit. Since there was not a follow-up with the teachers, it is unknown what the teachers meant by level text. We may have interpreted the level text differently than the teachers when using the equip to score differentiated instruction. Secondly, the teachers in the study have received professional development specific to using scaffolding to support diverse learners, including students with learning disabilities. Overall, the results of our content analysis of middle school teachers' planned instructional support for students with learning disabilities are promising and suggest that the middle school science and ELA teachers in this study are planning for differentiated instruction and scaffolded differentiation over time to support students with learning disabilities. Additionally, the results indicate areas that teachers may need additional support in to develop instructional plans with extensive differentiated instruction and extensive scaffolded differentiation over time. Thank you for viewing our poster session. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to Cassandra Smith or Rachel Jurgensen.